Today's video is coping mechanisms and things that I try and do to cope with my anxiety and depression, basically. Another little bit of a waffle, I know you all love it, but it took me a long time to sort of even attempt to try and figure out ways to cope and manage my anxiety and depression. I was very much just sort of let it take control, and I didn't try and help myself really. I was just sort of in that mode of I'm feeling rubbish, and that's all I'd fixate on. I wouldn't think, right, I know I'm feeling normally you can tell when, as soon as you wake up, if what kind of day you're gonna have, what mood you're in, and all I was fixated on how sort of I felt in that day, and then if I felt in the morning, then that's all I'd focus on throughout the whole day. I'm using these headphones because the microphone on my phone is trash, and I don't know, there's just something's wrong with it. It keeps cutting in and out when I try and record on it. Volume's rubbish too. But back to it. I think when I first sort of tried to get help, you go to the doctors and then you're waiting for an appointment this and a phone call here, and you're waiting months and stuff. I did Google. I did a lot of research, and I think that can be good, but it can also be very bad. You research stuff of symptoms and that, and then you can just make yourself worse, especially if you're an overthinker or a worrier or someone that has obsessive or intrusive thoughts and can't control them. Once you've seen something negative or something, and it's still, oh no, I've got this, I've got that. Went through stages of thinking that I'd like cancer or something, just because that's the way that my brain tells me how to feel. Basically, I've always got something to fixate and obsessive thoughts, something to worry about all the time. I think I started off really slowly with nothing too drastic. Obviously I've my whole life I've been doing physical exercise, so I've not found that hard. When I was younger, I started swimming at 8 years old, and then I was swimming at county level. Stopped that. I've done martial arts training, then obviously focused on training for forces, which is more cardio and stuff like that. But anyway, I do believe physical exercise doesn't have to be like CrossFit or weightlifting, or it can be going for walks, it can be, I don't know, tennis, golf, squash, whatever. It doesn't have to be something that's massively strenuous or like high level performance wise. It can just be something simple that you enjoy, horse riding, walking a dog. There's many things out there which keeps you active, keeps your mind occupied, which I find is the best focus the best I don't know what word I'm looking for, the best outcome from it, that's the one. The best outcome I get from physical training, obviously the strength, building muscles, stuff like that, obviously all that vanity stuff, but I think the best thing I get out of it is that it gives me a certain, like an hour or an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, where my mind is not wandering or going off. It's focused on what I'm doing at that time, and it's great because once you get used to doing a certain, you get into a hobby or some sports activity, you kind of then, that becomes your life and it becomes routine, and then you can learn from it. And the mindset you've had, when you get tired, I don't want to do any more, let's play one more round of tennis, blah blah blah, that sort of mindset and sort of putting yourself under more intensity is great for, like, you know, it's great for your endorphins, your serotonin. It's great for, you know, increasing your heart rate, getting a sweat on. Just doing something physical is just great for the mind. It's all the scientific stuff, like, you know, all the chemicals and that. But yeah, firstly it was physical exercise, which I've focused on massively, but I kind of relied on it too much, and then sort of lost its edge. You know, I was still training, but I was still feeling crap whilst training and stuff. But yeah, obviously I think that's the biggest thing that helps my mindset is my training. But I think that's because I've been doing it so long. It's a part of my life, you know. That is my routine now. I try and train 4, maybe 5 times a week, and I love it, and that's my passion. I know everyone's else could be different. Even things like you know, reading, gaming. It's about finding something that you can enjoy. That is a focus for your mind to focus on. Because this is all for me. This is all it is about, is being able to focus on something other than the state in which you are in. To, you know, just stop thinking, oh, I feel, you know, to stop you thinking I feel rubbish. Oh, I've got anxiety. I'm worried about this person. I'm worried about this job. I know everyone has that, but with certain people, they can't sort of take their mind off it, and it sort of grabs hold, and they can't get out of that hole, basically. Gaming, I mean, that's great for taking your mind off things. I mean, don't get too stressed out about it, because I know gaming can be, well, it is quite competitive now, so people can get really stuck into that. But yeah, so that was that's my main sort of aspect on dealing with and how I control it. And then you can go down to simple ways, like in the end it stopped me from being able to sleep like at all. I couldn't get off to sleep, and then I'd be waking up like every hour, you know, like really sharply, like, oh, I'm awake, like alert, ready to do whatever. No, some basic forms of meditation, like it's like there's many techniques of breathing before bed. I do it. See, I got into a routine of doing it every night before bed, even if I feel good and I'm tired, just to get into the routine. Because, you know, I feel alright today, I'm not going to do it. No, you want to get into the habit, and once that habit's set, then it becomes, you know, routine. And I believe that when you're doing something day and consistency, basically, yeah, consistency is key, and that, I think that's across the board with pretty much everything. So if I'm lying in bed, I sometimes listen to sleep stories, you know, and it always starts off with like breathing techniques. So it'll be 4 seconds breathing in, 4 seconds holding the breath, and then 6 seconds exhaling through the mouth. And you do that, say, 5 to 6 times, and then concentrate on nice slow breaths in through the nose. I mean, you can do out through the mouth, but if that's quite uncomfortable when you're trying to sleep, just nice deep slow breaths through the nose, and count. So you go, when you've done the seconds, the 4, the 6, when you've done, say, 10 of those, or 6, whatever you want to start off with, maybe start off with 5, then count. So when you're breathing through your nose, 1 on the inhale, 2 on the exhale, and then count until 10, and then once you get to 10, start over. And I believe that when oh god, I can't get my words out. My brain is frazzled at the minute. When you are doing that, you're concentrating on counting and your breath, and you slowly stop to think about everything else that you normally think about, you know, all your worries, all your anxieties and stuff. It takes a while to get used to, and it's hard. You really have to focus on thinking about what you've got to think about, like numbers. So if you're going 1, 2, and then you go, oh, and then the thoughts come back in, and it's, oh yeah, well, what about this person, about them thinking about me, or what, you know, and then you go, nope, what number was I on? I was on 3, 4, 5, you know. You've got to really try to stick to counting those numbers and concentrating solely on the deep inhale and the nice slow exhale. Another one is, so if you're in you're trying to get to sleep, because for me it's always sleep, isn't it? It's just trying to relax. I find so hard, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. This is what I did to work. I mean, it may not work for you, but I would give it a go. You may find little things, you know, because obviously I found my own certain ways to do it, but I'm just going to give you an example. My example, when I'm doing nice deep breaths, and when I get a thought come into my head, imagine that you have like a post-it note, and you've put, every time you think something, you put thought, you've written it on a post-it note, and you stuck it to a wall, and that goes to the left, and then you carry on, and then when you get a feeling, you know, like a sharp, like bit of heat in your stomach, you know, that anxiety sort of horrible thing, write on the post-it note again, feeling, and that goes on the right. And every time you get a thought or a feeling, you mark it as a thought and a feeling, and stay nice and calm with it. Don't go, oh, that's a thought, oh, that's a feeling. Just go, all right, yeah, I'm thinking, thought, put it on, and then back to the breath, and then feeling, mark it as a feeling, and then back to the breath. You know, these thoughts and these feelings are very strong, and they're so powerful, but when I'm trying to learn to make them just a thought and just a feeling, not to get such a huge reaction from it, not to give my thoughts and feelings a huge reaction basically, and to just go, oh, it's a thought, oh, it's a feeling, and then back to the breath, nice deep inhales and exhales, and hopefully that should take your mind off whatever you're thinking about at the time, because I do it all the time. Like most nights I'm thinking about something I did when I was, something embarrassing I did 5 years ago, or something that could be embarrassing in the future, or oh no, what's gonna happen when I'm 40 and I lose my hair, or you know, there's stupid stuff like that, and I'm happy to admit it. Like what was the other day? I had a stupid thought that manifested into like an anxiety. What was it? It was being short. I'm 25, I've been this height for like since I was 16, 17, so I don't know, for some reason I thought, oh my god, I'm so short. It's like, yeah, I know you are, mate, go for it, get used to it. That's not going to change, but that's a good example for me. It's like, oh my god, worrying about it, and everyone's told me blah blah blah, etc. It's, oh, my own head is just tiring, very tiring. Yeah, what else? I do have some other listening to music, obviously, well, not obviously, but even audiobooks, just to basically everything is to take your mind off your own thoughts. That's what you've got to do. You've got to try and focus on other things, like, you know, even if you get simple enjoyments out of it. Also, what else? I think I used to get a lot of, my self-confidence was ridiculously low, and I'd be very nervous and very shy. But again, that sort of self-acceptance sort of stuff, I don't really know how I've overcome that. It's just sort of, I think, just basic maturity and putting myself in putting myself in situations that I feel really uncomfortable in. At the time I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do it, but when you do that, you gain from it and you go, you know, oh, that was okay, that wasn't so bad. You know, try and put yourself out there and, you know, apply for that job that you don't think you'd be able to get, or ask that girl out, ask that guy out, because at the end of the day I don't really believe there isn't much to lose. If you're already feeling nervous about it, then doing it, you're not going to feel any more nervous, are you? Because you're already preempting the thought of doing it, so you already know how you're going to feel doing it, basically. So you may as well just do it if you've already been worried about it. So just do it. Yeah, thanks for watching me have a video, and I'll see you on the next one.